The war that broke out almost a year ago on October 7th broadened beyond the military facet. It has expanded to a war on propaganda and misinformation. As we quickly approach the gathering of world leaders at the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly, will we see some of this propaganda on the world stage? I spoke exclusively to Middle East expert and editor-in-chief at the Foreign Desk, Lisa Daftari, for her insight and analysis.
We never thought we would be a year out. The hostages haven't been returned. Israel's doing the dirty work for all of us. They're fighting a war that is for the entire free world. And don't take it from me. Go inside Iran and ask the people inside Iran what they think about this war. They understand who the enemy is because they've had to live under the enemy for 45 years. And that just says a lot about how far and how corrupted this entire, arena has become. How dangerous this information and propaganda war is, and really it's coming after us as well. And I hate to be a warmonger to say there will be another 9/11 style or scale attack here in the United States, but we are ripe for the occasion. This can definitely happen. I think we have to wake up, we have to root out the enemy, and we have to understand that we share an enemy with Israel and that Israel is not the enemy here.
Yeah, that's an incredible analysis. And Lisa, before you go, I want to ask you this question because we are approaching the 79th session of the UN, the United Nations General Assembly, where the Iranian president is set to make an appearance and also deliver a speech next week. Obviously, this session is going to look a lot different than last year's, given the fact that we are approaching that year mark of October 7th. So with that in mind, what kind of rhetoric do you think that we'll likely hear this year? Does this year's UN Assembly have potential to influence the war in the Middle East? What do you think?
I just think it's going to fan the flames more of a pro-jihad rhetoric. Look, for 45 years, and let's just focus on the last 15 years, for example. I know myself and many others have been talking about the Islamic Republic coming to New York and how they shouldn't be allowed because they have blood on their hands, innocent Iranian blood on their hands, and of course, American blood on their hands as well. They shouldn't be parading into New York City freely, and they don't even represent the people of Iran. This is the Islamic Republic. This is a theocracy, a brutal theocracy that is, shooting down at peaceful protesters, not giving women their rights, jailing and killing bloggers and people who post on Facebook and the opposition and all of that. So why are they allowed to come into the UN? And we've allowed them to just take the podium and say whatever they want. And their comments have always been anti-American, always been anti-Israel, of course. And this year, of course, I think they're going to take the opportunity to do the same thing. They're going to talk about, the United States encouraging genocide in the Middle East. They're going to really take a perspective of they themselves being the ones that are pro-humanity and pro-human rights. They always do that. What bothers me the most is we know that the Islamic regime is going to be themselves. That's who they are. This is their nature. They've shown it for 45 years. But where is the moral clarity? Where is the moral backbone of the Europeans and the Americans and the rest of the UN to stand up to them and to really put them in their place? And we haven't seen that kind of policy coming from the White House. This is not just something that we can stand back and be like, well, Israel could have been more careful. You can't, live side by side to somebody who wants to kill you. We have to get this straight. The Palestinian people deserve better. They should be, re-educated, reprogrammed to understand that Hamas is not the right leadership for them. I will refer back to the Abraham Accords. Then we can have a better future in the Middle East, and the rest of the world could be free of jihadism.
Very well said. Lisa Daftari, Middle East expert and editor-in-chief at the Foreign Desk. Thank you so much for being here. I always appreciate your analysis, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, Monica.